My name is Caleb. I'm 36. And this is the story I swore I'd never tell. Not because it isn't true, but because sometimes the truth feels heavier than the lie that replaces it. I grew up in a town you've never heard of. One church. One diner. One high school football team that everyone thought was going somewhere. But they didn't. No one did. Especially not the boy who liked boys. I was that boy. Skinny. Quiet. Always with a book under my arm and a question I never asked on my tongue. My father was a truck driver. Gone 5-6 days at a time. When he was home, he brought his silence with him, thick, loud silence. The kind that felt like walking on broken glass barefoot. My mother, she was softer. She hummed when she cooked, kissed my forehead at night. But she was tired. Always tired. And then there was Nathan. My older brother. Golden child. Quarterback. Homecoming king. He had a smile that could light up a stadium. And a fist that knew where to find ribs when the door was closed. No one knew. Because boys don't talk about bruises when they're given by other boys. Especially not boys who are supposed to be men. At 15, I kissed a boy named Jeremy behind the bleachers. It lasted 4 seconds. It ruined the next 4 years of my life. Jeremy told his friends. His friends told the locker room. And the locker room told the whole damn school. Suddenly, I wasn't Caleb anymore. I was faggot. I was pervert. I was the joke in the hallway, the punchline at lunch, the target after school. I begged my mom to let me switch schools. She said, ignore them. They'll grow up. I begged my dad to do something. He stared at the wall and said, you bring this on yourself. I stopped begging. I started hiding. Library during lunch. Fake sick days. Long showers where I could cry without making a sound. One night, after Nathan slammed my head into the bathroom mirror for looking at him weird, I packed a duffel bag and ran. I had $53, a prepaid phone, and no plan. I stayed with a friend's cousin for a week. Then a shelter. Then another. I thought about going back more times than I can count. But every time I touched the bruise above my eyebrow, I remembered why I left. At 17, I got a job washing dishes in a diner in Knoxville. Paid cash. No questions. At 19, I got my GED. At 20, I changed my last name. By 24, I had a studio apartment with a couch that didn't smell like mildew. And a cat named Edgar that hated everyone but me. I told myself I was fine. That survival was enough. That healing was a privilege for people who had the time. But trauma has a way of echoing. Especially in the quiet. I met Lucas at a thrift bookstore. He asked if I'd ever read Giovanni's Room. I hadn't. I lied and said I had. He smiled anyway. We talked for hours. About music. About films, about how both of us hated Christmas for very different reasons. He had a scar above his lip from falling off a bike. I had one across my heart from the years no one saw. Dash dash. Lucas made me laugh. He made me dinner. He made me believe, for the first time, that maybe I wasn't permanently broken. Dash dash. After 6 months, he said, come with me to visit my parents. They'd love to meet you. My throat closed up. I said, I don't do families. Dash dash. He asked, why not? And I told him the parts I could say without shaking. Dash dash. He said, you don't have to be theirs to deserve love. Dash dash. But something in me didn't believe him. Something in me still waited for the punch. Still checked the room when I laughed too loudly. Still rehearsed lies in case a stranger asked too much. Dash dash. One night, we were watching a movie, and I heard Lucas crying beside me. I paused the screen. Asked what was wrong. He said, I don't know how to help you when you won't let me see the parts that hurt. Dash dash. That night, I slept on the couch. Not because he asked me to, but because I didn't know how to be held and not flinch. Dash dash. We didn't break up. But something fractured. And I knew, if I didn't face the past, it would keep dragging into my future. Dash dash. So I did something I hadn't done in almost 15 years. I bought a bus ticket home. Dash dash. When I stepped off the bus, the air smelled like diesel and regret. The town hadn't changed. But I had. Dash dash. My childhood home looked smaller. The porch light was off. I knocked. My mom answered. She looked older. Not just older, worn. She gasped when she saw me. Caleb. I nodded. She hugged me like she was afraid I'd disappear again. Dash dash. We sat in the kitchen. The same wallpaper. The same chipped mug. She said, your father passed 2 years ago. I didn't ask how. She asked if I wanted to see Nathan. I said no. She said he was a father now. I said nothing. Dash dash. Then she looked at me and whispered, I knew, about you. I just didn't know how to help. I said, you could be tried. And she cried. Dash dash. I stayed one night. Lucas called. He asked if I was okay. I said, no. But I'm trying to be. Dash dash. Before I left, my mom gave me an old photo. Me and Nathan at Halloween. I was a pirate. He was a cowboy. I stared at the photo the whole ride back. Dash dash. When I walked into our apartment, Lucas was cooking. He didn't say anything. Just walked over and held me. This time, I didn't flinch. Dash dash. That night, I told him everything. The bruises. The names. The silence. The way I still sometimes wake up gasping. He held my hand the whole time. When I was done, he said, you were never broken. You were wounded. And wounds can heal. Dash dash. I didn't cry. Not then. But later that night, I stood in the shower, water hot, head against tile, and wept for every year I spent pretending I was unlovable. Dash dash. Today, I'm 36. I teach literature at a community college. I tell students to write what hurts and then write how it heals. Lucas and I still don't do Christmas. But we do Tuesday nights with wine and board games. We do Sunday morning pancakes. We do quiet. The safe kind. Dash dash. My name is Caleb. And I am not invisible. Not anymore. Dash dash. Thank you for listening.